you've ever wondered what Winnie the Pooh would look like if it were crossed over with Dexter, then you really need to read Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, #1. You guys remember Dexter, right? It was that Showtime show where Michael C. Hall played a serial killer. It was really good for like 4 seasons, and then it was okay for 2, and then I stopped watching during season 7. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is basically Dexter if it were a little golden book for small children. It's got cute little anthropomorphic animals, and boy, that bear does something to a duck that you really can't unsee. The best thing this book has going for it is its visual presentation, brought to us by author and illustrator Patrick Horvath. It's very storybook-like, very kid-friendly, or at least seemingly kid-friendly, and it's a stark contrast to the gore that we get later in the book.
It's interesting what some well-placed anthropomorphic animals can do. Case in point, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, #2. What's curious to me about this story is that it's essentially a small-town serial killer story, but I don't know how interested I would be in it if it didn't have the anthropomorphic animals angle. If you take that away, I'm curious to see how well this book does, at least creatively. I'm certainly not complaining about the animal thing. The art by our artist and author Patrick Horvath is amazing. I think for issue 1, I said that it was like a crossover between Dexter and a little golden book, and that still very much holds true. Interestingly enough, our main character in this book is a queer female serial killer, which is a combination that at least I haven't necessarily seen that often, notwithstanding the fact that she's also a bear.
Alright, I've been waiting to say this line for about a week now. You ready? Hey guys, it's the 3rd issue of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I guess that makes this Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees #3s. I'm really impressed by how eerie and suspenseful this book really is. You wouldn't think that would work with the whole anthropomorphic animal thing, but that really seems to be the element that ties it all together. I know I've said this before, but this book really reminds me of Dexter, the old Showtime series where Michael C. Hall plays a good guy serial killer. Just the way that our main character Samantha talks to us and sort of sneaks around, and again, the whole thrilling, foreboding, suspenseful vibe of everything. If you miss Dexter, I would definitely check out Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Would you classify Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees as a cozy story? And that's kind of what I'm thinking about in relation to issue 4. Screen Rant put up a preview for issue 4 the other day, and in the text, the author of the piece described the story as cozy. Now, I checked with my hot librarian wife on this, and she told me that cozy in relation to a book means that it's like comforting and homey and something you might give to your grandma. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is great, but I don't know that I would give it to my grandma. But then again, maybe that's kind of the secret sauce that makes Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees work. The art does definitely have that cozy sort of feel to it, but it's mixed with the bloody, gory serial killer stuff. So we're very much blending worlds with this comic book. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees is apparently supposed to go 6 issues. And you know, I feel like I've said this a lot lately, but I'd be game for more. Heck, I'd be game for a series. You know, I've consistently been comparing this book to the Showtime TV show Dexter, and Dexter was good for about 4, maybe 5 seasons. If we can get that many good stories out of Dexter, I feel like we can get at least a few more good stories out of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. After Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees #5, we are officially on Bear Watch 2024. I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. This issue has much more of an introspective, psychological suspense vibe to it. It's different than the previous 4 issues in that respect. But we also have the trademark horror and gore mixed in there that we've come to expect from this series and our creator, Patrick Horvath. There's a scene in this book where our main character, Sam, who is a storybook-looking anthropomorphic bear and also a serial killer, comes across a predatory moment involving a traditional animalistic real-world type bear. So we have this storybook-looking bear and a real bear. It's a really interesting juxtaposition, and it's more or less clear, at least to me, what Patrick Horvath is saying about animalistic urges and tendencies versus more civilized domestic tendencies. But you know what? This is the second bear attack that I've seen in a comic book this week. The other happened in Rook Exodus #1. You take those moments combined with what we saw in Titans Beast World #4 earlier this year, and we are officially on Bear Watch 2024 here at Comic Book Chronicles. Patrick Horvath's eclectic blend of cuteness, drama, intrigue, and a little bit of gore ends with Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees #6. Or at least it ends for now. When you're telling a story, there's a lot to be said for leaving your audience wanting more. Certainly it beats the alternative, which is, yeah, I'm ready for this to be over. Our author and illustrator Patrick Horvath definitely leaves us wanting more with Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. And I guess if he wants to stop here, that's fine, but this is an instance where, as a reader, I'm thinking, come on, you've got more in the tank. Where's the rest? That's what makes me think that we haven't seen the last of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees from Patrick Horvath and IDW Publishing. Not just because of its creative success, but because of its monetary success. I mean, multiple issues went back for additional printings. Success doesn't lie. There's a moment in this issue where Sam, our main character, injects the bad guy in the neck with a paralytic, effectively rendering them helpless. And I almost hate to end on this note because I've said stuff like this in previous reviews of previous issues, but boy, that really reminds me of Dexter. If somebody were to ask Patrick Horvath about the inspirations and the origins of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, I would be really surprised if he didn't mention Dexter by name. And hey, if Patrick Horvath wants to come on my interview segment and talk about that, he's more than welcome.